My name is Megan Freeland, and I'm one of the Directors of Clinical Education, or DCEs, here at Northwestern University's Doctor of Physical Therapy program, and I'm excited to introduce you to clinical education at NUPTHMS. Every DPT program has two types of education: didactic, or classroom learning, and clinical, where students provide care to real patients in collaboration with a licensed physical therapist. As a DCE, it's my job to oversee the clinical education component of the curriculum, which makes up about 1/3 of our students' education. The first opportunity to get out into the real world comes early at Northwestern. Our students have their first integrated clinical experience, meaning that it's integrated with and taking place at the same time as their on-campus coursework in their very first semester. During these half-day experiences, a pair of one first-year and one second-year student work together in collaboration with a licensed PT to provide care to 2 to 3 patients. It's a really unique opportunity since it allows our first years to get context for what clinical practice looks like from day one, and provides our second years with the opportunity to mentor their colleagues and model what clinical learning can look like. By the end of the curriculum, our students will have participated in half-day clinical experiences at 5 different clinical education sites across the Chicagoland area. In addition to integrated clinical experiences, our students also participate in 38 weeks of full-time clinical education. Full-time meaning that no other coursework is taking place at that time. During a full-time experience, students are off campus and across the country, living the life of a physical therapist and being educated by a clinical instructor, a licensed PT with whom the student has been paired. These 38 weeks are broken up into 4 individual experiences: 2 6-week experiences, one at the end of the first year and one at the end of the second year, followed by 2 back-to-back 13-week experiences completed after all of the coursework has been done. And what I love about how these experiences lay out in the curriculum is that it lets students learn a bit in the classroom and then go to clinic and try it out. Then they return to the classroom with even more context for what they're about to learn and do it all over again, head out with more new skills, and bring back even more context. By the time the students go to their final clinical experiences, they really know what clinic is like, and they're armed with all of the academic information that they need. That leaves them with 26 weeks to really home in on the skills of putting it all together and navigating the "it depends" situations that are the reality of physical therapy. Northwestern has relationships with nearly 600 clinical education sites in the Chicagoland area, over 1,500 clinics in 46 states, and even 5 international opportunities. Of course, not every site can accept a student every year, and the list of options for our first clinical experience is set before our first years arrive on campus, but Northwestern students do have the opportunity to weigh in on which options will be available and even recommend new clinical sites for their second, third, and fourth experiences. Students can also apply for competitive opportunities working with performing artists, professional sports teams, and at specialty clinics across the country and even in other countries for their third and fourth experiences. The licensure exam that students take before entering the workforce as a physical therapist focuses on every aspect of physical therapy, all ages, all diagnoses, and all practice settings. In order to ensure that our graduates are as well prepared for the exam as possible, students are required to complete a variety of full-time clinical experiences before graduation, working in an inpatient setting, an outpatient setting, with patients who have primarily orthopedic diagnoses and those who have primarily non-orthopedic diagnoses. Because the PT Practice Act varies from state to state, and our program prides itself on providing care to communities other than our own, students are required to travel for at least one of their full-time clinical experiences. Between full-time and integrated clinical education, students will be exposed to at least 9 different clinical education sites, giving an outstanding breadth and depth to the exposure that students gain during their time at Northwestern. Student voices and preferences for placements are an important part of what our clinical education team does. There are a lot of moving pieces to the process, so students are paired with one of 3 DCEs on our team to guide them along the way. Consultations are available for each and every student when selecting placement preferences, and our doors are always open to ask questions, share comments, concerns, or stories of success. Our goal as a clinical education team is to provide radical transparency throughout the process, meaning that students always know what's going on and why. Much of our communication and information sharing happens through an online invitation-only system that can be accessed anywhere, anytime. The Northwestern team sees our students as colleagues from day one, and that doesn't change when students are off campus at clinic. Whether we're traveling to visit them at midterm or simply being available by phone and email to complement the mentorship provided by their clinical instructors, the entire faculty is here to support our students day in and day out.